All right, Demit, hit us with an intro.
Oh yeah. Bum, 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 bum,
All right, guys, welcome to the My Grandma's Playlist podcast, and we're here to tell you that we're here to stay. Everyone, welcome to this podcast that we're recording currently on a day. We have a lot to talk about today. I just wanted to, first off, I want to apologize for last week's shitty episode. I was very tired, very exhausted. But right before we get into the new stuff, though, I just want to change a score or two. I want to change The Eternal Tao 2.0 score from a 3 to a 4. I think I was just so cranky.
Yes.
I think I was just cranky, and I was like, God, I just tired. But I'm changing that.
Yeah. You gave it a respectable score. Thank you, David. I appreciate it.
I don't remember what else. I don't remember what else we talked about last week, but there was something else I wanted to change. But whatever. Anyways, cool. So, I guess we're gonna talk about Loveless, right?
Yeah.
Unless you have anything else to say before.
No, we've got a lot of cool stuff to talk about this week. It's an exciting time in music. This is like the peak hour. Things are flooding in, man.
Yep, I
All right.
agree.
So, Loveless. I think we should. Shall I give some background information?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So My Bloody Valentine. I think it's a great band. They create shoegaze, 1988, I think, or maybe even earlier. They released an album and they're gearing up to release another one, and they almost bankrupted the entire label because of this album, because of how much time they took, how many different studios they recorded in. They had a very precise sound they wanted, and it seems like that they just didn't know what they want at the time, but they wanted the studio time. So they just kept recording but not actually doing shit. So it turned into a very expensive project, even though it doesn't sound very expensive. At times it does, but at times it really doesn't. And we'll talk.
Yeah, I agree. I don't understand how it could be so expensive at times, but at the same time, I suppose I get it, but not particularly.
You procrastinate and you say you need the studio time, but you're not actually recording anything. And none of the lyrics were ever written. They were written on, they would sing the lyrics till it sounds right. So they would keep recording over and over and taking up that sweet, sweet studio time.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. But yeah, cool. Let's get into it then. So the first track is Only Shallow.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think this. I think you're gonna be a little upset with my liking of the album
man.
because I liked the album, but at the same time, I thought it was kind of meh.
All right.
But I do like Only Shallow. I thought that the vocals were really, really nice sounding, and the screaming guitars was a super nice touch.
Yeah, this Only Shallow, just the way it opens up with those guitar sounds are so iconic. The song is iconic. This is
Yeah.
this just gut punches you saying, it's time to be very loud. And you look at the album art and you're like, oh, that's what I'm listening to.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, lyrics. It's just pretty much this whole album. I'd like to put this out there. It's pretty much kind of what happened. Where do you go when you fall asleep, David?
I don't know. But then up next we got Loomer, which I thought was a very similar song to Only Shallow. I felt as if they could have been the same song, to be quite frank with you, but I still thought it was pretty good. That's one thing I find with this album is that everything sounds very similar.
Yes. It's to its detriment, but also to its advantage. It depends. This album is a very much, in terms of albums that go from one song to the other just seamlessly, I think this does it very well. But you also have to go into it knowing you are very much about to, it kind of puts you in a trance state, and it drains all your energy, and you become very sleepy.
Yeah, and you're only going to get one thing for the next 45 minutes.
You better be accepting this sound, because this is the sound you're going to get.
Yeah.
And Loomer, which is track 2, it sounds like the ending to Only Shallow.
Yeah, for sure.
They're saying, okay, let's turn up the guitars even more, but just kind of fuck around.
Yeah.
And then Touched is a really weird interlude that just kind of comes in.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was a great change. I thought that was one of the few songs on here that had a different vibe to it, and I really liked the synths in it as well.
Yeah, the strings come in. there's a little reference to a song that comes in later, which I think is, we'll talk about later, which song Touched brings in later. But the instrumental with the strings is beautiful, but it's also like really weird.
Hmm.
And it leads really nicely into To Hear Knows When.
Really, I thought that it didn't lead in well. I thought it was like a super abrupt change.
Really?
Yeah, I did like it. I thought it was very moody, great atmosphere, but just like it's kind of going from like one side to the other for me.
To me, it was more like Touch built it up for me, and then it was like, bam, almost like a beat switch. And I feel like if it was made later, we would have gotten like a big bass hit almost, and just like
Mhm.
fallen into this pillow. This album is very pillowy. It feels like you're landing on a pillow of sound. A pillow, a very loud pillow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like this is the cold side of the pillow.
I can see that. Um, yeah. Then after that, we got When You Sleep. Talking about pillows, When You Sleep.
Yeah, this is probably the most commercially successful song.
Yeah,
It
and honestly, this is one of my favorites. It was a personal favorite. I really like the groove and the synths in the background were really really great.
and then you get Kevin Shields singing over here, and this
Yeah,
album
yeah.
is yeah. So you get a different singer, and his voice is really nice, but um, it's weird. He doesn't sing on all the tracks, which I found interesting, like the way
Mhm.
that the band's does vocals here.
Mhm.
But when I read about this, the entire album is also basically Kevin Shields' like 100% vision. This is his vision,
Mhm.
and he does a. This song is so catchy; it sticks in your head. Like even, I feel like this, Only Shallow, and one other song stick in your. A couple other songs. It depends. It depends how much you are into the shoegaze genre. Um, but yeah, When You Sleep, it doesn't sound like a sleep song. I'll say that.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't. Then we got I Only Said. Uh,
That's the one that Loomer no touched reference to.
yeah, yeah. I love the way the vocals are mixed on this one with the guitars.
Yeah, the guitar tone again, like that's like doing that.
Mhm.
I like that. It's a good tone. David, as a guitarist, how do I do that?
I don't know. I would have to listen to it I would have to listen to it a couple more times before I would really know.
I don't know. I like that sound a lot. I don't know why. It just sounds so weird, and that's why I like it.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh yeah, I mean that's why I liked it too. And then we got Coming Alone, which by the way I love the thickness of the bass in this one.
Yeah, there is certainly a lack of bass. I'd say in the like not as strong of a bass from the first half, and then we're going into the second half, and then it's like, hey, did you want bass, David?
Mhm. Yeah, and
And
then what?
what did you say?
No, no, no. What were you going to say?
I was just saying, oh yeah,
What? Okay.
not
Anyways,
much,
then
man.
after
Finish
that
the song. That's all I can say.
we got Sometimes, which I thought was kind of meh.
That I agree with you. It on one hand, I appreciate it. It sounds like a song that you kind of you plug in your guitar and you're just singing, but you never stop singing, which is really it's like the closest to a ballad, but with this really noisy guitar.
Mhm.
It's weird. Like I feel like it's meh, but it's not too meh because the noisy guitar really threw me off. With this reads like a ballad. I could see this instrument being a piano, but instead it's a noisy guitar, and it confuses me. And I
Yeah.
think that's why I like it personally. I enjoyed it, but like it's more than met to me. But I admit it's a weaker song, but it's an emotional hitting song. I don't know.
I get that. Yeah. And then we got Blown a Wish.
I like how dreamy this is and how wishy this is and how it like just it makes your mind feel like it's in another planet. At
Yeah.
least to me.
I really like the harmonies in it. I thought this was definitely more interesting than Sometimes, which I was very glad that it like didn't go to like just one mess song to another one.
Yeah. Um, the Mess song mainly to me, very much, and is I don't like What You Want that much.
Mhm.
I don't know about you.
I like
I
the
just
ending. I like the way the song kind of grew into it, but after that, I didn't really see anything much into it.
yeah. It was just very much like this felt like a cookie cutter from the album. Like they like listen to the album, they're like put in that song.
Yeah,
Um, and luckily it's not the end to the. I think the ending to this album is very very strong.
I thought so
Personally,
too. I like the way how the other one and this one mesh into each other, and then the way kind of everything is mixed in one. This one is like very satisfying. I think this was definitely one of the more bangers.
yeah. It's a weird. It's still very trance state. This whole album is very trancey. It's trancing you the whole time, and that's the idea. But I think Soon is really good. I remember the time that it really clicked with me. I was at a record store shopping with vinyls pre-pandemic with a friend of mine, and we were just walking, and suddenly Soon, the store, it's in Baltimore in Fells Point, and it was playing through the entire Loveless album.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've heard it before, and then I hear Soon come on. I knew it was like the last track, and I was like, wait, I like this track a lot.
Uh huh.
And then that's when I really started listening to Loveless a lot more. It was at that store at that moment because of Soon. Um, yeah, I don't know. Also, really cool vinyl store, David. When you come to Baltimore, uh, you know.
Okay, I'll check it out. Um, cool. But anyways, yeah. So moral of the story is this album is pretty good. I guess. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
What
I
would you
think.
give it?
All right, so I think I see where our tastes differ here a bit more. Usually I'm not a huge fan of trance music. Like put it on like if I'm like relaxing or something. But
Trance music?
like trance, shoegaze, very
Okay.
ambient. Like that type of music. Just
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of sucks your head in. But also it's not something that you really get like that excited about.
Yeah.
But I still put it personally for me. I just love the sounds on here and the sounds that come out of all the ambient albums I've heard in my life, going from Tim Hecker to like Slow Dive, another shoegaze, or M83, who's great. This to me is one of the essential shoegaze albums, and as a shoegaze enjoyer, I wouldn't say like stan or fan. I give this a pretty solid 8.5 out of 10.
I'm gonna have to give this album a 7 out of 10, maybe a 7.5 out of 10. I thought it was good, but it's just I don't know if it wasn't. I don't know if it just wasn't for me because I do really, really like noise, ambient music and stuff, and just kind of
Mhm.
like something that just like a wall. But at the same time, I just felt like there wasn't anything super interesting in this.
Yeah, I mean that could be to your taste.
Yeah,
It's a different kind of sound, like noise. I'd say.
yeah.
What kind of noise album would you say? Like, if you were to say your favorite noise ambient esque album is, what would you say? I'm curious now.
Honestly, I couldn't say. I like, I don't know.
You're still searching for it.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. It's a search. Ambient music's weird.
Yeah. But cool. So now up next, what do we have? Brockhampton's new
I think
album.
we got. There's a lot to talk about the Brockhampton album.
Yeah, Roadrunner, New Light, New Machine.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, so we can go through each song for this one since we went through the other one pretty quickly.
Yeah,
We can
which is
skip Buzz Cut since we already said our word on it.
Chain On.
Chain On is
Woo!
honestly Chain On was one of my favorite songs. I love the groovy beat and the fact that like it was just very old school. Them rapping over it. Peggy was kind of eating up that verse.
Yeah, it's so. I don't know what
It's
Chain
very
On.
it's basic, but it does everything it needs to.
It does it so well. Like leading from Buzzcut, fantastic track, and then Chain On. I was just like, oh, this is a good album.
Yeah, yeah.
I was really surprised by it. I don't know. I usually with a Brockhampton song, like I don't know. I was looking at Chains On runtime and hearing the beat, and I was like, I don't know how much I'm gonna enjoy this. And then I was like, wait, oh, oh,
Yeah, it just kind of it kept going, you know. It was good.
Um, then Count on Me, which you initially
Which yeah,
didn't.
actually I wanted to I this one's kind of grown on me. I think I gave it a 4 before, which I agree still it's a 4, but this one's grown on me. I like this one a lot more than I did before.
Yeah, like I think it fits the vibe of the first three. Like this, like
Yeah.
track listing, it really tells you like, hey, did you know this is a Brockhampton album and we're
Mm.
back?
Yeah, yeah.
And so and then Brink
The
Bankroll comes on.
bankroll. Yeah, bankroll is just it's it's so good. The bass is heavy, the ending is pretty fucking fire. The beginning section with like the guitars is just it was I wasn't expecting it, but then it just went into like just amazingness.
Yeah, Bankroll really. It's a song that I wasn't expecting. You know,
Yeah.
especially with like, sure we only got two singles, and I don't know what to expect from two singles really, but I don't know. I just wasn't expecting that from like the first three songs into my listen, and then I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, yeah. Cool. And then we got The Light, which was definitely one of the more emotional songs.
And a really good one.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
can definitely see the not Brockhampton. What's it called? Um, the Kanye West influence on this one because they did say that they were going to be influenced by My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Kevin Abstract said that, and considering that Brockhampton they started off as a Kanye fan, right? Like a
I don't
Kanye.
remember.
They like met on the internet through a Kanye forum, I think.
Ah.
This very much reads My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy vibes. It has that grittiness to it, but yet the cleanness to it, and
Mhm.
I love The Light. What a good song.
Yeah, it's really really good. Then after that we got Windows, which again another one that's like a very moderately simple beat. Once again, old school vibes, but really really good. It's a straight up banger. I really like the auto tuned chorus as well, in my opinion.
Yeah. I like the little synthesizer in the background there, like that like old school
Mhm.
synth. You know what I'm
Yeah, yeah,
talking
yeah,
about?
yeah, yeah.
It was just like this is like I feel like I could like drive to it while it's dark by myself, but I'm not like trying to vibe in a like I'm going to the streets. It's more like yeah,
Mhm.
I'm gonna drive home and write a song about um snow being cum.
Okay. And then we got I'll Take You On. I think this is one of my favorites off the album. I thought the harmonies was great. The slow and the ending too was just like just frosting on the cake, you know, just really added more to it.
Yeah. Also the drums. Can we give a shout out to the drums on here, man?
Yeah, they're super clean.
This reads so it's so well produced, and yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, and then I thought Old News was a great follow up to I'll Take You On. You know, kind of just giving a little more to it. Though I did feel that this was not one of my favorites off of it. This album.
yeah. Well, I liked, obviously I liked the hook that they had, and I like the way it's like a
Mm.
follow up. I enjoyed that part, but that at the same time, it's like I don't know, man. It just seems like they were like, hey, what if the bass was like almost what's it called, like black dresses, almost not quite heavy, but like it has that vibe to it, or like the big bass hits.
Yeah, yeah,
Or am
yeah,
I not
yeah,
making sense?
yeah. No, I got you. And then we got What's the Occasion, which, by the way, the intro to this song reminds me very much of like the Beach Boys.
Yes, and What's the Occasion is one of my fucking favorite songs. Like a friend of mine on Twitter was saying like, which song, boys? It was like Don't Shoot Up the Party or the Light, I think was the ones he was talking about, and I
Uh,
replied with no, it's What's the Occasion.
I felt like this song was not as I felt some moments of it were kind of boring, but still pretty good. I thought the vocals were mixed a little weird in certain sections, but the synths were again the synths. I feel like all the synths on this album were super great, and then the guitars, their addition to the with guitars in this album just really kind of build it up to be just great because it's not too much, but it's just the right amount.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, feel that. What about When I Ball?
Ooh, When I Ball. I thought that this one was it was nice, very soothing, you know. I love the pitched
Yeah.
vocals at the end. It was fun. It kind of like, just it was a chill. It was a nice addition to the album. Not a banger like the first couple tracks, but still like a
Yeah.
great add-on.
Yeah. And then, the one that everyone's talking about.
Wait, wait,
This
wait,
song,
wait, wait, wait. What did you think about When I Ball?
When I Ball, what did I think? I I felt like, this it's in the title of what I felt like it was. It sounds like a song when you ball, man. Like,
Yeah.
when you're in that energy, just the beat gives me that vibe of, yeah, I just did some homework and I got a very high grade on it. I'm balling. At least for me. And then, I turn on like something like this, which, it doesn't really make sense with context, but I'm just like, I'm feeling good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
All right.
so, now David, tell me, are you do you go on the tweeter?
Every
On the
once in a while,
tweeter?
yeah.
So, did you hear the news, like everyone freaking out about this next song? But by the way, David, you're coming to Baltimore eventually, right?
Yeah.
All right, if you come to Baltimore, I got a request for you, man.
Okay.
Don't shoot up the party.
All right. I thought this song was really, really good. Like, really, really good.
Yeah, I agree. Like, this song deserves all the praise it's getting.
Yeah,
Um,
I completely agree. It's just everything about it is just it's amazing. I think this is another one that like is just so hype, and then again the synths I nut every time I hear them. The lyrics, they're pretty dark, but like it works.
I feel like it's a song that's needed.
Yeah, exactly, especially right now.
Yeah. So don't shoot up the party, please.
Yeah, and then we got Dear Lord, which when I saw the title, I was like, I knew exactly what this song was gonna sound like.
And it sounded like the way you thought it was going to sound
It
like,
sounded
didn't it?
exactly like the way it's gonna sound like, and I thought that it was kind of meh. I thought the harmonies were good, the instrumental was like, and the gospel inspiration was, and like old school R&B, blah blah blah, all that was great. But I feel like I've heard this done so many times, and I felt it was a great intro for like the light part two, but I don't know, I didn't see much into it.
Yeah, I feel like this gospel thing is something that's, it's really making a comeback in hip hop and rap, and it's a hard thing to pull off. And
Yeah, I agree because sometimes, uh, yeah, I agree that it's hard to pull off in the sense that it's been done a lot of ways, but if you do it well, it comes off great. But if you do it, it can come off either really, really bad or really, really eh. There's
I
no like in between.
I think they got it at the Met right now. It
Yeah,
like there's nothing wrong with it, but like you said, it sounds you know, we know what to expect when you listen to this.
exactly.
I feel like people that do it well is Chance the Rapper before the big day. Before the big day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
Kanye West, not on Jesus is King, but on what's the song called? The beautiful song. I should know. Ultralight Beam. That
Mm,
song. Great
mm.
gospel use. But yeah, Dear Lord. But the light part too.
Okay, yeah, and I think this is a great ending to the album. I thought that like just like part one, it's great. The source material is really intense with like talking about like upbringing and police brutality, racism, even
Yeah.
self destruction toward the end. But like, I thought that just everything about this is a great follow up to the light. Sometimes with albums they like to do a part one and part two of songs, and they just like one of them is gonna be lesser than the other. But for this, I feel like part one and part two of the light are equally as good.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. They go together. I haven't done a thing where I like listen to part one then part two after.
Hmm.
But I feel like I need to like make a playlist like to see like but I think like the way this track listing works just works really well.
Yeah.
I enjoy this Brockhampton track listing a lot. This is probably I'll have to like re-listen to like Saturation again and like all their other stuff. But I really like this album. Big fan of it.
Me
Out of
too. Me too.
I don't know, like so when I got into Brockhampton it was around how do you pronounce that?
Iridescence.
Yeah, that's when I started like getting around to Brockhampton because I saw the Bald Man, Fantano.
I
talking about it, so I was like, oh, okay, I'll check
I
it
got
out.
into I got into Brockhampton during Ginger, so like fairly recently. But
Ginger was, that was,
what?
oh, what did you say?
What did you say?
What did you say?
No, what did you say?
Did you say like you
Uh,
got in during Ginger and then
I
you're
got
gonna
it.
say something else?
I got in during Ginger, and I like
I
Ginger
just
a
said
good bit. Bro, what are you saying to me right now?
mhm.
Okay, anyways, I got
I'm not
into
saying anything. What the
oh my fucking god, dude. Anyways, don't say anything, Dimitro. I got into Brockhampton during Ginger. I liked Ginger a lot, but at the same time, I feel like I like this album a bit more than Ginger. I feel like there's a couple more songs on Ginger that are just like kind of, very very sad boy songs, but this one just has banger after banger. So I'm not sure where to put this.
um I didn't like Iridescence that much. I liked Ginger quite, a decent amount. But I think this really is making me understand Brockhampton more. And so this is definitely out of the 3 Brockhampton albums I've listened to. I'm just gonna put this out there. I've not listened to the
Oh
Saturation
no.
series, and I know that it's very loved, but this is currently my favorite Brockhampton album.
So what are you gonna give this?
I think I have to give it. Honestly, I guess there's. I feel like. What are you gonna give it? I want to
I'm
know.
gonna
What
give
you're
it an
gonna give
8.5
it. Okay,
out of
so
10.
I think I liked it a bit more than you, because I'm going with a 9.
Oh, a 9. Okay.
I know. I've been giving out
I
some
don't.
9s
Yeah, I don't
lately.
want to give it. I feel like it could have been a 9 if a couple, maybe a track or two was taken off or like changed. Because there's some songs on here I just thought were like meh.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that, but I only feel like my only small issue. I think it's because I enjoyed What's the Occasion much more.
Hmm. Yeah.
Because I very much dug that.
Yeah.
And I am a Kanye West enjoyer. So, them appealing to my beautiful, dark, twisted fantasy makes me enjoy it more.
Cool. But great. Those are our albums for the week, and we're not gonna be talking about the Taylor Swift album. I know it's kind of like come on, man. But at the same time, I felt like the only way we could really review that one is that if we listen to the original Fearless, and there was no way I was gonna be able to listen to both albums this week.
uh, I have like brief things to say about it. I haven't finished. So I listened to like the main songs off of like the
Yeah,
re-recorded stuff. I have not listened to the from the vault
I
stuff
listened to
yet.
some stuff as like that as well. I did think that the Taylor's version of Fearless, I thought the vocal performances was a lot stronger, actually.
But I think production and vocally, it's a much stronger album than
Yeah.
her original. Like from what I've listened to, I can't. I'm not a huge Taylor Swift fan, so I can't like speak too much. I'm just gonna say I've been enjoying this, and I'm excited to actually finish this album eventually.
Hmm.
I think it's really cool what Taylor did here, and I think it's really good. And I believe she's going to be re-recording her whole discography, so I'm very interested to see.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be interesting.
And I've started to like listen to her discography more because I'm like, I need to give it a fair chance, right?
Hmm.
And this is like a brief shout out. I listened to Red recently because that's the one I hear people are like, that's a fantastic album, right?
Hmm.
And I can say after listening to it, it's pretty fucking mediocre. Like I listened to Fearless and I liked that. I was surprised. I was like, fuck. Was I just not listening to Taylor for no reason this whole time? And then I listened to Red and I was like, oh, that's why. It is so mediocre, and I think like out of all the albums that need a touch up, this is the one. There's there aren't that many good ideas on there, honestly. I don't know what she's gonna do.
Yeah.
I have a lot to say.
Yeah. Well, we'll see when that time comes. But yeah. But I guess talking about some of our singles, we got 3 singles for this week. So we
Do
can
we have
talk
3
about.
or 4?
Uh, I would just. How about I list them out, and then if we have another one, then we have another one.
Yeah.
I don't remember honestly. Okay, so we got "Shy Away," 21 Pilots
Yep.
coming out the gate. New album sometime later this year.
Very soon, actually.
Yeah, very soon actually. Yeah, I thought the lyrics on this one are pretty cute. You know, I thought because they released what was that was one song they released last year, Level of Concern. I thought
Yeah.
that was pretty mid, but like I thought the source material was cute. You know.
So Shy Away. I've got all right. Shy Away.
Mm-hmm.
All right. First, I want to put out a few things because 21 Pilots. What I do like is like they. I don't follow the narrative, but I know they have a whole narrative going, and
They do.
yeah, the albums are in a narrative, starting from Blurry Face and Trenches and narrative, and apparently this is supposed to be like some kind of propaganda album because some person took control of one of the people. I don't know. There's a whole narrative going on, and I don't get it, but
Interesting.
I'll have to dive into it one day.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
I wanted to quickly say that I do appreciate this aesthetic change. I really dig
I
the
agree.
colors on the album. Um,
Yeah, I like where it's heading. I like what I'm hearing. I thought the instrumentals are good, though nothing too new. You know, I've heard this sound been done before, but I like where it's going. If they can like improve on it with the next couple of singles that they release or with the whole album, if they can do something even better than this, that'd be great. It kind of reminds me of not in sound, but if they can do something like with OK Human, you know, with Weezer, where they released all my
mm,
favorite songs, and I was like, I've heard this been done before. It's all right, but then they released the album and everything else on there was that but better. I feel like if they could do something like that with this, where it's like they release this song, it's like this is good, I like where it's heading, and then an album comes out and it's just like everything's like this but better, it's gonna be good.
yeah, I think I've always been like I've never been a hater of 21 Pilots because I think they're pretty cool, but I've never been like a big fan like oh yeah 21 Pilots. But I, I to me this song kind of I feel like it almost sounds like something that the new Abnormal from the Strokes could have headed in.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
it sounds like a cut off of it, and which I approve of. I like the new Abnormal quite a
Yeah,
bit.
New Abnormal is good.
So I'm very curious. Right now this has me intrigued. It's not a great song. It's probably not a song I'll be returning to,
Yeah, I definitely won't be returning to this.
but I think it's better than average.
I thought it was slightly above average. I thought it was like a
Th-
3.5.
for me it's about a 3 for me.
I wrote down 3.5, but I'm giving it a 3.5 out of like hope that everything else is like even better.
For me it's just a 3, and probably if this album I feel like this album could be fantastic or very it won't be a bad album. I know like it won't be like something that
Well,
is
let's
offensive and
let's
hurts my
hope not.
ears. No, the worst that it's going to be is mediocre and just something you never listen to.
Yeah. All right.
Uh,
Then afterwards we got Posing in Bondage by Japanese Garden.
Breakfast.
Breakfast. What am I talking? Wait. What am I talking about? Japanese Japanese Breakfast. Posing in Bondage. Wait, Posing in Bondage by Japanese Breakfast.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go. There you go.
I don't know what I'm on. Yeah, I found this song and I suggest we talk about it because I thought that the atmosphere was executed really well. I thought it was really interesting.
The production was so sweet, and just the
Yeah,
idea of posing in bondage. I got it. This is like
yeah,
it intrigued me. So I was like, I listened to Be Sweet, and it was a song that I listened to. I was like, that's a song. But this one was much better than
yeah,
Japanese Breakfast last single.
yeah,
Um, she's an artist, I've definitely haven't been checking out that much, but I know I should be.
yeah.
Um,
I thought that the instrumental did sweep the vocals away at times, and it was like the reverb might have been a little bit too much. I know that's the aesthetic and that's what they're going for, but for me, I think that if they held back just a tad, it would have been even better.
yeah. So to me, this song reads about out of 5, I give it about a 4.
I'm gonna have to give this one a 3.5 as well. Actually, I'm gonna change my Shy Away. I'm gonna change that to a 3, and then
'Cause
this one to a 3.5 because I like this one better than Shy Away. But I probably won't be coming back to this.
okay, yeah. Um,
And what was the other single that you were saying?
oh, I guess we do only have 3 singles.
Okay, cool. Okay,
Yeah, I
yeah.
was
So then
wrong.
we have "Kiss Me More," Doja
Doja
and
Cat.
featuring SZA. This is a good song in my opinion.
This is
I
a very
know
good
I
song.
know Demit was saying that this is just kind of another say so, But as my old grandpappy used to say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And so
It
I thought the
works.
song was good. I thought it was good. It was good. A nice follow up to Say So. I think Say So is obviously a lot more better than this, but I think it's still pretty decent of a track. Especially with the stuff that's Doja Cat's been dropping lately. I thought I liked the beginning. Sounded pretty, just a little baroque. I don't know if it was just me, just so slightly baroque.
Yeah, I was, I don't know. I like this song a lot. Doja's, all right. I know you say so is, I guess, a much better song and everything,
Mm-hmm.
but I think Doja's bars on here, her
Mm.
bars, I think they're better.
Really, I thought that at some points the flow was a little, just not. I don't want to say weak. It was just a little average, but overall it was really, really good.
Yeah, and I like that. I think "Kiss Me More" will be a bit more catchier to people. Like,
I don't
all right,
know. I don't know about that.
just like easier to remember. As somebody who has trouble remembering lyrics, remembering "Kiss Me More," that's very easy to remember.
Mm. Oh, but you could just say so.
Okay, but there's so much other things. All right, yeah.
Okay, but then
Not maybe.
the SZA feature really made it as well. It kind of just added just greatness to it.
Yeah, to me, this is a. I enjoyed this more than Japanese Breakfast.
Yeah,
So it's a
me too.
4.5 for me.
I'll give this a 4.
I understand. I understand. I understand. I
Yeah,
feel that.
cool. So I guess that's everything, right?
Mhm.
Great. So if that's
Mm.
everything, then it was done. Oh wait, no, we're not done yet. Shoutouts, right?
Yeah. A couple more shout outs. We mentioned our Taylor, but yeah. Any other shout? I want to hear the shout outs here. We're hearing the shout outs.
I had shoutouts too, but then I
Oh,
forgot them. Do you
so
have anything?
I did. I finally listened to that. What is it? I don't know if I talked about this. The Few Chateron, Palais d'Argile. It's the album's called Palais d'Argile by Few Chateron.
Uh
Chateron.
huh. Uh
It's
huh.
a French pop album that I saw the Bald Man review, and I finally listened to it. What a good French pop album!
Mhm.
it's it's yeah. I don't know. I really digged it. Also, this is kind of nerdy. This is very nerdy, and it's kind of music related, but not really. But it's a shout out I wanted to give. I don't play Final Fantasy, right? But
Yeah.
I forgot to mention, and this happened a couple weeks ago, the Final Fantasy VII remake soundtrack is out on Spotify. So I think that's actually
So
pretty killer.
you just been listening to that pretty much.
I've been listening to it a bit because the orchestral instrumentation is so nice, and video ga- video game music is like it's pleasurable. It's something you don't listen to an entire album of, but when you hear cuts there and there while you're not playing the game because you don't have a PlayStation and you don't wish to buy one,
Okay.
it's good.
All right. All right, great. Yeah, I don't have, like I said, I don't have any shout outs. I thought I did, but I must have forgotten them all. So my bad. But cool. So I guess that leaves us to talking about next week's podcast. So next
Next
week
week,
we're gonna have a guest. Ooh,
yeah,
this is a friend of mine. His name is Matt Warren. Goes to school with us. Uh, yeah. So basically, the reason we're having him on, because I think of him as the Weezer aficionado. And as some of you may know, the two of you listening out there, that a Weezer concert, not Weezer yeah, it's a Weezer concert.
yeah, it's a concert.
Yeah, so there's gonna be a Weezer concert coming up online, and they're gonna be playing the OK Human set, and then along with some tracks from like their older albums, I think, with the orchestra
Yeah,
and everything, which we're both very, very excited for. You ever ticket
very.
spot? And so we're gonna be talking about that next week, just discussing it, seeing how it goes, and then we're gonna have him talking about it and everything kind of Weezer for a second.
Yeah, but
And then as usual we have our guest recommend something. So then he recommended Melee by Dogleg.
yeah,
So we'll be talking about that next week and then seeing how that goes.
I'm excited. I'm very excited about this. What a
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 35-minute album. I think this is
It's definitely a break from the usual thing we've been doing, where it's like long album, long album, long album. It's a
yeah.
nice little break.
I think we needed a break from long
Yeah,
albums.
cool.
Uh,
But anyways, that's it. Now that's
us,
it officially. I think.
yeah,
I hope.
yeah, yeah. I think that's it. We're now sponsored by the Ridge Wallet. I decided.
Oh, yeah. No, we're not. Ridge Wallet, don't send us a cease and desist. We're not sponsored
Can they
yet.
do that?
I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, thank you everyone for listening. That's it. We'll see y'all next week.
Yeah.